Supervisors met July 26th and authorized the permitting and insurance of the Bramley Mountain Fire Tower with one dissenting vote.
Resolution number 135.
I bring this up, ask for its adoption.
Second.
DEP Land Use Permit, Bramley Mountain Fire Tower, Department of Economic Development.
Questions? Jeff?
Yeah, I wonder why it's gotta go through the county. I know I heard, it's gotta go to municipal and stuff, but we've already, there's more to it when you go, what the county's gonna have to take on by this. And I'm wondering why. I mean, they say they may get 10,000 visitors a year, I understand, to the site when it's finished. I don't like the fact, the county's gotta be the insurance person. Supposedly for $25 a month or a year, it's gonna cost us. But the liability factor is gonna be huge as far as I'm concerned. If you got 80-foot building or tower, people are gonna be climbing up and down. And if you get hurt, who's responsible? It's gonna be the biggest fish in the pond. It's gonna be held responsible. The county will get thrown into it. And I wonder, and then we're responsible to take it down also. DPW has said they would do it for us. But to what expense? I mean, it's an 80-foot tall building, 100-foot tall building. This is not county property. This is not county business. And to put that added expense, or it could be added expense, on the county for something that county property, supposedly 10,000 visitors a year. I have an issue with holding the county responsible insurance-wise, and to do the work and stuff too, and not, all it's gonna do is cost the county money, and I don't know if we will get reimbursed much on the facts, I'm sorry.
Clyde, you had a comment?
First of all, I totally support this resolution, and the second part of it, the question to Jeremy, isn't the use of this tower fall under the general obligations law, under the same purpose of like a state-funded snowmobile trail going through personal property? If you're using the property without a charge, you rightfully don't have the right to sue the owner of the property or anybody associated with it.
Well, it's a little more complicated than that, in the sense that even assuming that were the case, it wouldn't prevent somebody from suing. It might prevent them from ultimately recovering, but it would still have to be something the county would defend if an action was brought. So,
But doesn't it fall under the general obligations law though, to a certain degree?
without looking at it a little closer, I couldn't tell you offhand. I mean, it's in the similar vein, but whether it would be exactly the same, I don't know. I mean, it's not something I've looked at lately.
Jeff?
Well, if this is a question that really can't be answered, or you don't know for sure,
Right.
would it be right to pull it till next meeting? Because we don't have any numbers either for the cost of the county of tearing down this structure if we have to tear it down. It's a 5-year permit. They don't normally pull them, I'm not saying they do. But it could be pulled in 5 years, and in 5 years, we gotta tear it down.
Unless the permit's misused, they won't pull it.
Well, there's an unless, and we're dealing with a city. I'm sorry, I don't really trust you as far as I can throw. And I mean, that's my concern, and we don't have any figures on what it could cost. We don't have any concern, we don't have the answer of whether it be suable or not. So I would like to put forward a motion to pull it till next month's board meeting.
I would like to say that I'm in favor of this resolution. I don't think we need to pull it. In working for an electric utility, all of our easements for a 5-year revocable permit. in the 50 years I worked for the utility, they never revoked one permit, so that's not an issue. What the cost would be when we dismantle it, if it ever gets dismantled, I don't know. When's it gonna get dismantled? 5 years from now, 50 years from now? So those costs aren't really realistic to be had. I remember when that tower was there, we had about a half a mile of electric line that served it. And it was a nice tower. And then, of course, the city bought the property, and I guess through the realm of things, it got dismantled, but saved. And the Friends of the Bramley Mountain Tower group, or ARP, put 25,000 in it, and I guess the occupancy tax put another 25, and they're gonna, what that cost is, I knew at one time, but I was not prepared today to tell you, but the tower organization would foot the bill to have it installed. And the others, chance somebody will fall, Bill, somebody will fall. Well, Bill's putting a tower up, same thing. Well, there's risks there, and it's gonna, yes, cost the county $25 a year extra for insurance for it. And I think it's a good tourist attraction, and it's part of our tourist promotion thing.
They could fall going into your town hall.
Pardon?
Somebody could fall going in your town hall.
Right, but also, it is a privately owned tower that is gonna be put up and taken back down. It's not even a Bramley Mountain Fire Tower ownership. It's a privately owned entity, which the county's gonna go be in the private sector, taking
I
the
think
private
it's a
sector.
good project.
I'm under the understanding also that people will not be able to go up in it unless there is somebody representative there to let them up there. So it's not like they're gonna be up there the entire time, you know, whenever they hike up there, people can get up into the tower. So it's gonna be regulated as to when they go up.
That's the same way with ours, if we ever get that far, and if we plan on putting a fence around so you can't get up and do it unless there's somebody to take it.
Right,
And it's maintained by Friends of Bramley Mountain.
right,
So
and they'll be the ones letting the
maintained.
people go up,
Right.
and they'll be the ones that will be on site.
Catch them when they fall.
Yes.
Ken, you had something to say?
Yeah, I actually, for the last 12 years, been doing fire inspections on some of the state fire towers. And the reason is because New York State DEC made it illegal to have open fires above 2,000 feet in elevation or 2,500 feet in elevation. So all of these fire towers that had cabins and wood stoves and had volunteers going them realize that they actually are active in the winter as well, and most people don't realize that. There are a large number of people that go to them, and what happened is they were literally going to shut down a bunch of towers because the volunteers said, we're not going up there in the winter and freezing to death. What happened was they couldn't get any state code enforcement officers to go do fire inspections. I happened to hunt on Gould's land, and I was hiking up there chasing a big 8-point anyways, how I got sucked into it. So I went up there, and I've been doing it for the last 12 years, go figure. The way they keep them out is they lock the hatch,
Yeah, that's right.
not the stairs.
Right.
They lock the hatch on the bottom, and that's what they do, and that is the state policy on that, okay? And then the other thing I had to ask, and that was just for, that's what actually happens there. My question to the attorney is, second paragraph. In order to utilize the land for the purpose DEP requires that the municipality enter and obtain a land use permit from the city. Land use permit allows for access to the site and is available for a term of 5 years, which can be renewed indefinitely. Next page, third paragraph, restoration. In lieu of a survey bond, DEP will accept a letter from the county stating they will remove the tower if, when the permit is terminated. If at any time, in any 5-year rotation, the county doesn't renew this, that tower has to be taken down. That's what this says.
Is that a question?
Do we realize that if at any time the county drops this, we're taking this thing down at that time?
Or the
So
state-
if
or the
for
city
some
could-
reason that this doesn't
Or the
happen.
city could deny.
So I guess what the thing is, the only thing I would say to this is when you're gonna go into a contract, and we've done this with entities like New York City, and if you're gonna enter into contracts New York State, under our state constitution, doesn't allow us to enter into agreements for more than 5 years with municipalities. That's why it's a 5-year agreement, that's why that's 5 years, we all know that. If you're gonna do something that renews indefinitely, then usually what you do is you make it so the terms and agreements of it don't change. Because what happens is 5 years, if DEP comes in and says, hey guys, we had a problem at this one site, now we want you to put this additionally on this for us to continue it. It puts the county in a situation maybe 10 years down the road, 15, it's a little bit more difficult to actually renew this thing, and then you got the burden of having to decommission and taking it down at your expense. And that's a really hard hit, especially if that time you got a lot of tourism coming up. You know, you figure Balsam Mountain, I know that we have 10,000 people that are going up there a year. I had no idea how many people
What's that,
actually.
a fire tower?
Yes, sir. I had no idea the number of people that actually hike up to these things. It's insane. The number of people that go to these people travel up here just to go up and hike in winter too. They don't stop. So I guess the only thing I would say, speaking to what Jeff is saying, I'd just like to make sure that if you do enter into this, we enter into it with the city understanding that we don't change the terms of this agreement. We enter into this agreement understanding that the terms of this agreement stand indefinitely. And if there is gonna be a change, then that has to be discussed well in advance of that happening, because if you come to the due date and you terminate this, you're tearing it down according to this. That's what it says, right? That was my comment.
Thank you.
Yes.
In regard to what Pat just said, so if they climb up, I don't know how you get to this tower, I don't know the height and everything else like that. If it's winter time, are they allowed to go up there? If they slip, is emergency services able to get to them from there?
What you usually do is have to take, usually the fire department is called, and that's why we have side-by-side tracks now. That's why all the fire departments, we see volunteers, you see a lot of them have budgeted for side-by-side for tracks, and it's for access up into the state land and on these trails in the winter times. If we have missing persons, we have people that get hurt, because the only other way you're getting up there is a helicopter.
There's
So
a road up there.
most of the time, they're coming out with a side-by-side on a skid, and you're dragging them out on a stretcher. That's my understanding.
There's a road, but you'd have to use a side-by-side on that road.
But it's night, it's not, it's all hill, but it's a gradual hill, all the way up there.
So they would have access year round?
UTV.
And so pedestrian only, or other types of mobile devices too?
No, just pedestrian only, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, it's a voice vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
So carried.
To subscribe or advertise, call 607-464-4009.